right. Last we left off, boys, you guys are still currently fighting Tarkag, the Unfilled Guardian of the Forbidden Stone. We have lost a few of our party. We've lost our nameless Soldier 1, formerly known as Mr. Aarons. And we have lost Captain Yeager. He's cleaved in two, exploded, and there's not much left of his corpse. It is currently...
Poor bastard.
Yeah, it's currently cooling at the feet of Tarkag, as one of his feet is mangled, the kneecap is busted, and he is it's bent the wrong direction, and he's just wailing his sword around, hoping to hit somebody. That, however, was the end of the round, so we're back at the top of the round. This is round 4. So at the top of this round, I need both of you guys to make endurance tests for me.
All right. That is a 43 out of 50.
Okay. How about you, Seamus?
I got a 49 out of 42.
Would you like to re-roll that?
I probably will.
You could add a success level to not re-roll. You
Okay.
want to just burn a fortune point.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that then. I'll use the success level.
Yeah, so you both pass, so you feel like as combat's dragging on that you might be possibly tiring, but you both find almost like a second wind, and you feel fine at the beginning of this round. So, Seamus, you see the final Bestigor fall, and then suddenly you hear this boom, this detonation, as Tarkag's sword sweeps behind him. You don't see what happened on the other side because of the flashing light from the Herdstone, and then Tarkag is actually in between you and Marius and what's left of Captain Yeager, but though you don't know that yet. You just hear the explosion, the detonation, but then you hear Angelica come up from behind you once again and loose an arrow. And it once again strikes Tarkag, this time in the other soldier. The other shoulder. The other shoulder. Sticks out of place and deals a decent amount of damage, though he's still well, he's not standing, but he's still up. He hunches over at the arrow protruding from his shoulder again, and he kind of lets out a loud wail. And then she ducks back into the shadows. And before she goes, Seamus, she's like, "We need to wrap this up quickly. You wouldn't believe what's happening out there." Oh. And then that's it from her turn. Now it is Mr. Wolf. It is your turn. You are currently 15 feet from Tarkag, from that last punch since you sprawling through the ground. You're mostly shirtless at this point. You are also prone.
Mm-hmm.
So
covered in bone dust and blood.
Covered in bone dust and blood. I'm going to say, actually, you're not 15 feet. You're going to be 10 feet from him, because that's what I had wrote down, 10 feet. So it costs half your movement to stand.
Okay.
And then,
do so.
And then you've got another 20 feet. You're within range of Tarkag if you want to go back in for seconds.
Okay. I'm going to grip my pick and kind of get up, like wipe the blood off my face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the last vial potion I have and
okay.
chug it.
All right. I will allow it. I will allow it.
Okay. Throw it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to let's just charge back in with my pick.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do this. That is 20 out of 44.
Nice.
So 2 levels of success.
Is that crit?
Is that a crit?
Oh yeah, it is. You're right. Oh, you
nothing.
lucky bastard, because it wasn't gonna hit. It wasn't gonna hit. It's a crit though. Go ahead and roll me a D100.
All right.
How do you keep getting all these
88.
crits? Jesus.
88.
All right. All right. Perfect. Now roll me one more time.
All right. 65.
Okay.
It's that damaging, the impale or whatever.
Yeah, I
Gives us
know.
more chance to crit.
Okay. So, seeing your opportunity, he's still flailing the sword around. You move in, and you actually duck under one of his swings. You come up. You do like this running jump, and you're with an overhand pick in the air, and it comes down and enters into the unbroken leg that is hunched down on the ground. It pierces through, and you hear it just crunch into the bone. The bone, you can feel it give way at the tip of your pick, and then you feel something else. You feel this hot, steaming liquid come pouring out across your feet, and you can see the pain emanating through Tarkag's body as he lurches up and just gives out this and then he falls backwards towards you. I need you to make a dodge roll, sir.
Ah, fuck. Let's see. Oh, that's not very good. It's gonna be 56 out of 26.
Oh,
6?
56 out of
56.
26.
Would you like to re-roll that,
56. It's my last fate point, or fortune point. I'm going for it. Rerolling.
Okay.
Rerolling. And it's stopping at 19 out of 26.
Ooh. Lucky bastard. So you feel the body start to shift, and you feel the shadow starting to loom over you, and you pull the pick out quick enough, and you start scrambling and scrambling, and you're running as you feel the massive weight of Tarkag begin falling towards you. And as you get to where the tip of his horns are, you just make a jump out of the way, and you just skid a little bit more through the bone dust, cake it all back on what you smeared away, and he just, boom, slams down behind you. At the moment he impacts the ground, the herdstone just suddenly flashes. This brilliant white and green kind of light floods the entire room. You're face down in the dirt, Marius, but Seamus, and then anyone else watching, which I'll roll for them, I need you to also make an endurance test.
All right. 17.
Okay.
Nice.
You manage to squint your eyes and then cover your face with your arm as the light just pulses out. This blindingly flash, almost as if you were just staring into the very center of the sun for a moment. And there's this loud crackling noise as you can hear the very stone begin to split, and there's hot energy spilling out of its core. Combat is officially over as Tarkag has finally fallen.
Oh.
The Unfilled
Is he dead?
has breathed his last.
But before, is he still like somewhat alive? Maybe?
He's kind of twitching. Not completely alive though. You're not sure what's left.
Oh, I want to stand up, and I want to walk over and kind of get on top of him, like kind of step on his neck, and kind of look down at him and be like, "Someone requested your head, friend. and then start taking my my rusty sword and try to start hacking away at his head.
Jesus Christ. Your rusty sword?
That's the only thing I have. You know, I don't. I can try to pick it away, but it might be harder than the rusty sword.
All right. Man, he's not moving. You know what? Make me a strength check at disadvantage. Minus 20. Hell yes.
Minus 20.
Rusty sword.
That's ridiculous. Outrageous. All right. Oh, that's not going to be good. It's 86. Out
Yes!
at 49.
Yes.
Well, no, at disadvantage, that'd be 29. 29, sorry.
Yes.
So it'd be really bad.
Oh, yeah. I like this. Okay. So the stone is still emanating massive amounts of heat and energy. Your necklace flares one more time, and you feel it crumble and crack and fall away. You get the idea that whatever protection you might have had from any energy emanating from this is now gone. But you start hacking into Tarkag's head, and you cleave once, twice, 3 times. You're barely making any progress, and then you crunch onto his spine, and the blade, the rusty sword, cleaves in two, and you're just left with a hilt. The tip of it is in the meat somewhere in the neck. You're not sure. You bring it up and you just kind of look at it, and you're just holding like the pommel of the sword and the little guard, and there's a little tiny piece left of what used to be the blade, which is now probably the equivalent of like a small dagger.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm pissed now, so I'm gonna grab my pick, and I'm gonna start just picking away the rest of his fucking head.
Okay, that's gonna take you a long time. Got it. I
don't have any other option. You've given me nothing else, so I'm going to use my pick.
As you're doing this, Angelica walks past you, Seamus, and she's like, "What? He's fallen! What, Master Wolf? What are you doing?" And you're just flailing away with your pick, just blood coursing, you're hacking away at this thing's neck, and
yeah,
she's just looking at you in horror.
Is it, how loose is the neck now? Like, do I feel like I could rip it off?
Oh no, it's halfway. It's about halfway on, and then she looks up at you, and then she looks to Seamus, and she goes, "Why doesn't he just use one of the axes?" And she points over at the dead Bestigors, and their axes laying on the ground.
I look at her, I say, "Don't touch those fucking axes." I keep
picking away.
I keep picking away.
Seamus, what are you doing at this moment?
I'm gonna kind of like walk around, to where Marius is, and do I see any remnants of? I noticed that Captain Yeager is missing.
Yeah, you will have noticed that
anything.
You will have noticed that he's not here anymore. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Perception. I rolled a 53 out of 51.
Okay. I will say there's also something interesting. You start getting closer to where the bloody splotch and the ground is of where you assume Captain Yeager was. There's a couple pieces of like tattered cloth and a piece of his cloak you can see. He's obviously dead at this point. You begin walking over there, and actually I need you to make me an endurance test, sir.
Oh boy. Oh, bad. That's an 81.
Would you like to re-roll it?
Yes, since we're out of combat, I'll use a fate point.
A fortune point.
Yeah, fortune point, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, that's still bad. Oh. That's a 60.
Okay. So as you get closer, you're looking. You're a little bit distracted. You start to feel the heat emanating from the stone, and it's getting more out of control, and it's starting to lurch. And there's little crackles of energy coming off of it at this point. It's progressively getting more and more unstable. It appears. The longer you stay in this room. You're looking around for Jaeger's things, and then you just feel this just wave of energy emanate from the stone, with you being as close as you are at this point. And you actually receive 1 corruption point. As the chaotic energy enters into your body, despite your resistances, because you've been getting blasted this entire fight. And your resistances have held up, but they're past that point now. So you have 1 point of corruption as you feel an influence infiltrate you. I need you to roll me a D100.
All right. 23.
All right, 23. Okay, now roll me 1 more D100.
65.
All right, you feel a tingling sensation in your mouth, specifically, towards like the base of your tongue. But that's it. You just feel like a brief tingling sensation, and then it kind of fades as you're looking. But it is a little unnerving as you're looking the ground, and it's got you a little spooked at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna look to Marius and tell him we gotta get out of here.
Okay. At this point, Marius, I'm gonna say about 2 or 3 minutes have passed, and you progressively this stone is getting worse and worse and worse. You finally, with a pick made for crunching stone, carve through what's left of Tarkag's neck and the spine, sever it, and his head comes loose. It rolls away from the body. It is the size of your torso, actually a little bit bigger. So,
all right.
Just go ahead and let me know what you want to do with it at this point.
I mean, I've got a mission. I gotta take this head back. I'm God's choice.
Okay.
So I mean, is that other guard still alive?
One of them. Okay, so at this
Christophe?
point, you will have noticed that Christophe is heavily wounded. His leg is seeping blood. It looks like Angelica's come over and she's applied a bandage, so it's no longer bleeding. But he can't put a lot of weight on it. He's not looking very good.
Yeah. I look to the Seamus and I'm like, yes, friend, we need to get out of here soon. But we're gonna need this head. And I kind of motion to him to kind of pick up one of the other sides of the horns so we can kind of like pick it up and take it out of here.
Okay.
Can I use my my rope to like give it to
help
Marius to have like carry on his back or something like a backpack?
I could say there's no way.
It's a sign
like
of
a backpack. Okay, I'll tell you what. Are you going to drag it away from the stone, or are you just going to do this right where you're standing? Okay. Are you both doing this? Are you both going to drag it away?
I mean, I'll be probably actively dragging it. Like once I got it off the torso.
Okay,
like,
so I need you to make me just a straight strength check to see if you can drag it over to the entrance.
All right. That is a 26 out of 49.
Okay, so you easily start pulling it. Well, not easily. It's heavy. It's heavy as hell. But I mean, you're a strong guy. You're Marius Wolf. You grab it by one of the horns, and you're pulling, and it's it's like the other two horns that you're not pulling on are digging in and kind of giving you resistance, which the full rack of horns is impressive. It's a very large span here. You manage to drag it all the way to the entrance. You look at the entrance. I don't think it's going to be wide enough for you to just push it through that gap.
Son of a bitch. I'm gonna. How sturdy these horns look?
I mean, they are large, very large horns.
Okay.
They look very thick as well.
Is that possible? Do you think I could like grab one of the horns and like try to step on at an angle at one of them and try to break off some of these horns so I can get it through the door?
I could say that, judging from... Okay, go ahead and make me an intelligence roll.
Okay. That's not very good. It's a 56 out of 36, so 2 degrees of failure.
2 degrees of failure. Okay. You kind of start looking at them. You say, yeah, if I jumped on these hard enough, it'd probably break.
All right, then that's what I do.
Okay, you start jumping on them. Seamus, you watch as Marius is like vigorously stomping on the horns of Tarkag's skull. Looks like he's attempting to break them off, but it's very ineffectual. It doesn't appear to be doing much. And you can look at him. Go ahead and you make me an intelligence roll, Seamus.
All right. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. 32 out of 41.
Okay, 32 out of 41. You see him, and you just kind of shake your head, and you basically look at the pick on his back and say, he could probably break the horns off with his pick.
Oh, you said I couldn't knock the spine off, so I didn't think it was an option.
What about that dagger I have? Would that dagger, if I pulled that out?
With your intelligence roll you just made, you should know that that specific dagger would be more geared towards like cutting flesh, not bone.
Oh, okay. Marius, why don't you use that pick on your back to break those horns off? You look like a fool.
And Angelica,
thanks for all your help, Seamus. Give me 1 sec here, and then I take out my pick and kind of glare up at Seamus and start wailing away at the fucking horns.
With the seething anger boiling up behind Marius's wolf's face, he's heavily wounded, and it is still an interesting sight as he very diligently removes all 4 horns from Tarkag's head, and they just kind of clatter, and you can see that they're not hollow like most horns you find in the wild. They're actually solid all the way through, so these are just big pieces of bone that you manage to pick away. With you not being in combat and whatnot, easily done within like a minute, 2 minutes or so with your pick and your strength. But during this time, Angelica kind of looks to you. Are we done yet? We must go. And you all look over towards the stone, and the energy now is crackling and arcing towards the top of the structure, which now you will have realized this is what you thought was a tent at the center of the Beastman camp. It turns out it's not a tent, but, however, the ceiling, the domed kind of ceiling that has been enclosing it, is made out of some flammable material and has now caught a flame and is slowly burning. Well, not slowly, very quickly burning, and the fire is now spreading towards you from above.
Oh, can we fit the skull out now? The head out now?
You can fit it. You will have to make me a strength check to pull it behind you.
All right. I'm gonna pull it behind me.
Okay.
Jesus.
Do you allow everyone to pass, or do you immediately pull it?
I look towards Angelica. Well, let me see. I look towards Angelica and I'm like, hurry, dear, and kind of motion towards the door.
Yeah, and she's got. Go ahead.
I look towards Seamus. Maybe you should help with Christophe. The other guard.
Yeah.
All right.
Angelica has Christophe. She's under one shoulder, and she kind of motions for you, Seamus, to grab the other.
Okay.
Okay, you kind of sling his arm over your shoulder, taking all the weight off of his leg, and you guys have to kind of walk at an angle because it's maybe wide enough for two people to pass, shoulder to shoulder, but not enough for three. So you guys kind of walk at an angle, and you can easily carry Christophe all the way through this the little bottom stone structure of this building. Master Wolf, I need you to make me a strength check to see if you can drag this thing behind you.
All right, here we go.
Now, what are you going to be gripping it by now that the horns are removed? And are you taking the horns with you?
No, I'm not taking the horns with me.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave the horns there. I am going to probably grab it by the stump of its horns if I could.
Okay.
It's the only thing I can think of. And just like
You want to like put
try
your
to kind of
hand in its mouth or something, or
no, I don't want to do that. I thought about it. I thought about like shoving it in his eye or something.
yeah.
But, no, I think I'm just going to try to grab if I can get a grip on the edge there.
That's fine. Don't make you any rolls to not get diseases or something. It's fine.
I know.
Okay, so you grab it. You go ahead.
I rolled a 2 out of 49.
Shit! Oh, you
Damn.
easily are just pulling this thing. Now, Seamus has given you a little bit of rope that he had. Are you using that black rope, Seamus?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So you have the black rope that was once formerly a noose around his neck. You now have it tethered to Tarkag's skull, and you've made like a makeshift pulley, and you are pulling it behind you quite easily. In fact, it's so much easier than what you were doing before, and not having any problems whatsoever. Okay, so we make it to the edge of, well, Seamus, you make it to the edge of the structure that you're in. You can see moonlight, which now you've noticed that it is no longer green. There's no green overshadowing anymore. It appears that the Chaos Moon has all but disappeared somehow. Now it is just the regular white moon of Mansleb dominates the skies. Almost like some kind of ritual may have been enacted that or broken that has cleared the skies in a way. I need you to make me a perception check.
All right. Straight perception.
Yeah, straight perception.
No bonuses.
No bonuses.
All right. That is what's my perception? That is going to be 22 out of 51.
All right, 22 out of 51. As soon as you come outside, you can hear the braying and screaming of beastmen. You also can hear the screams of men all around you. The camp has been set aflame. It appears that the stone pieces of it have arced out from the top whenever it had ruptured, and flaming pieces of the herdstone have landed throughout this camp, lighting various tents and whatnot on fire. So all around you, you are seeing burning tents and beastmen, as well as it looks like some of the soldiers that you brought with you, and it looks like possibly escaped captives are now making their way out of these large cages that you guys missed on your way in, that had men destined for a fate probably worse than death. There are currently beastmen just running in all directions. It's insanity, but nobody has noticed you as of yet. But there are still a fair number of the herd around. They're not trying to put out any of the tents, but they're just almost like animalistically trying to flee the flames, and they're running into each other and killing each other, and then killing anything that they come across.
Okay.
So at this point, Marius, you come up behind Seamus, and you can hear all this going on. What would you guys like to do?
I'll probably have Angelica scout us a path a little bit ahead, and I'll carry
Okay, you're going to tell her to
the
do
injured
that?
guy. Yes.
Okay. What do you say to her?
So, Angelica, maybe you should scout us a path ahead. I can carry this man.
And she just kind
Find
of
us
looks
a
at
good
you.
way out of here.
Yeah, she looks over at you from under the shoulder. This is madness. We should leave him and go. And Christophe just kind of looks. He looks at her with just this hopeless eye, this hopeless look in his eye, and he says, "That might be for the best."
Oh, fuck no, mate. I'm not leaving you here. You're coming with us.
And he attempts to push you from him. Make me an opposed strength roll, Seamus.
Oh, jeez.
Oh shit!
Oh, I rolled a 2.
Okay.
Oh yeah!
He's still weak, and he doesn't have the strength to move you, but you do feel him try to resist. He's like, Master Seamus, I'm not worth it. You must flee. You must get back to Sealberg. Let them know of the captain's great deeds.
You're going to let them know yourself. I'm not going to leave you here to be turned into one of these beasts.
Did Marius actually laugh at his statement, or was that Jello Smooth laughing? Okay, got it. Got it. Okay. So he kind of just he nods his head, and he's resigned himself to whatever fate may await all of you now that you're dragging a wounded man through the herd. And Angelica shakes her head at this and just be quick, and she moves several paces ahead of you. Go ahead, Marius.
Yeah, never mind. Or is the question? Is the where we're at currently outside of this burning hut structure?
Yes.
Is it elevated in any way? Is it on a hill? Or is it
yes. It's a gradual hill. You're almost at the base. You're getting close to the base of one of the mountain chain. Here, you're not into the mountains yet, but you were very close to it. So there is a gradual slope from where you guys entered would have been downhill, and this is towards the tippity top of the hill.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Never mind. I was sorry.
It's not so steep as you can't just roll this head, if that's what you're thinking.
No, it wasn't. I have an internal debate on what Marius might do. So
okay.
But yeah, never mind. Onward.
Okay, are you guys moving with speed or with tact, like stealth?
Oh well, I'm dragging a giant head, so
you can still attempt some stealth.
I mean, if you let me, I don't know.
Of course, I'll let you guys do anything you want to do. You just let me know what you want to do.
I'll see what Marius or what Seamus is doing. If he's stealthing, I'll stealth. If he's running, I'll try to run.
Oh well, gosh, we're not very agile.
It's true,
What kind of check is it if we're running?
I'm not going to tell you. It's gonna be athletics, as if you're going to make a run.
Oh, they both suck. Doesn't matter.
They do both suck. Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, I'll say we'll run if the injured guy can keep up. Keep forgetting his name.
All right. You're still
Christophe.
aiding him. So you guys go ahead and make me athletics checks. I'm going to make athletics checks for Angelica.
All right.
So go ahead.
Do I have any disadvantage? Because I'm dragging ahead.
You're so strong, and you've drug it this far. You've gotten used to the weight at this point, I'm going to say. So no, you're not going to have disadvantage right now. Now the farther you drag it, yes. So far, no.
Okay.
I rolled a 23 out of 27.
Ooh, lucky
nice.
roll. How about you, Mr. Marius?
I rolled 30 out of 26.
Ooh.
Athletics.
Okay. So, Angelica is moving ahead with some speed and some grace. Actually, you notice she's even at a fast trot in these conditions, she's still relatively stealthy. She's ahead of you, Seamus. You are keeping pace with her as much as you can, holding on to Christophe. You start to notice behind you, though, that Marius is not moving as quickly. He's starting to slowly, gradually fall behind. You don't know if it's his wounds or if it's that bloody head that he's dragging behind him. That is it's massive in its enormity, and he's still steadily dragging it behind him. So far, none of the herd are giving you the time of day. They're just kind of running back and forth. But Marius has slipped a little bit behind you. You guys make it into there was about 100-foot section from where you were to where the tents actually started. And you've made it now to the section where the actual tents were, where a lot of the Gores were sleeping. Most of them are no longer around. There's a couple that look like they've been burned and probably dead or bludgeoned to death by their fellow herd members. You still hear some screaming of men and humans of some kind coming from a few different directions. You get the idea that whenever the stone exploded, that the other men that you came with may have attacked what was left of the herd, or any that they had not been able to slaughter in their sleep beforehand. So the herd's numbers are dwindling, but they are still impressive. So you guys make it to the actual tent setup, and you notice that there are cages here that are open. Now there are 2 cages to your left, Seamus, that you can see because you're a very perceptive man. You see to your left that there are 2 cages, and they both have people inside of them. The fires are starting to lick around, and it looks like they're starting to catch both of the cages themselves. The figures inside are curled and trying to keep their head low, and they're coughing and
Oh, geez.
you see one figure in each cage. A humanoid from what you can tell through the smoke. Do you stop to help or do you continue on? Because Angelica keeps moving. She does notice them. She notices them and she keeps moving.
Jeez. Good guy Seamus is going to try to save him. Can I shoot it with the bolts? Or is it like... Would I know it wouldn't break it?
Go ahead and make me a perception check real quick.
Yeah, failed. 75.
Okay. So you can't tell how this cage opens from where you're at. You would have to get closer to it. It's about 20 feet from you into the actual tent setup. Looks like it's right next to a large bonfire of some kind, where there is a spit set up above the fire where there are the remains of what is left of a roasted human. So it's close to that, but you don't know exactly how it's lashed together or whatnot from where you're at.
Is Marius where I'm at now, or is he still behind me?
Marius is still behind you. He doesn't see any of this yet because he rolled poorly in the previous round.
All right. I'll leave Christophe, kind of like just prop him up.
You can. He can stand. He can stand. He's just weak. So you just kind of like let him go. And are you going to run towards the fences or towards the enclosures?
Yeah, I'll check out these cages.
Okay. As you're running, the flames are starting to thicken, and you get to the cages. There are 2 cages. They are set up right next to each other. There looks to be like a woman of some kind inside one. Her clothes are torn and tattered. Looks like she may have been abused in some way before she was put in this cage. She's just kind of whimpering and curled up in the fetal position. And then in the other cage, there is a young boy just kind of looking at you, kind of rocking back and forth, holding onto the cage, shaking it, and almost hyperventilating as the smoke is starting to enter into his lungs. Now, you do see from the makeup of the cages that they are lashed together with just crude cord, and given enough time, you might be able to cut them free with perhaps a knife or a dagger.
Yeah, I'll pull out that dagger and try to cut the boys loose.
The
first.
boy?
Yeah.
Okay. The flames are starting to get more intense, and the smoke is starting to billow down even further. You start cutting through the boys, and he's kind of rocking back and forth, really hammering home the cage. I need you to make me a melee attack roll. So just a melee skill with your bonuses, any bonuses you might have for your dagger.
Is it melee basic?
Yes, melee basic.
Oh, 55 out of 35. Jeez.
Okay. Do you want to re-roll it? Do you have any left?
I think I have one fortune point left, so I'll give it a shot. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll burn it.
All right. Go ahead and re-roll it.
That's a 49 out of 35.
Okay, so still, it takes you time. As you're doing it, the smoke is starting to drift further and further down. At this point, Marius, you could see Christophe is just kind of standing there. You've reached a point where he is, and he kind of points over towards where Seamus is, and you see Seamus on the other side of this fire, cutting into looks like some kind of cord or something next to these like cages that are made out of bone and cheap wood or splintered wood of some kind.
Okay. I look towards Christophe and I say, watch this for me, will you? And I kind of leave the head.
You just hand him the rope.
Well, I just hand him the rope, yeah.
Yeah, just hand him the rope, and he's like, he just looks at you like, I hope you don't expect me to pull this.
Yeah. I kind of give him a smile there, and then I walk towards Seamus.
Okay.
Or run towards Seamus. And
okay.
You said it's kind of a bone structure.
Yeah.
Like kind of brittle, or
it's it doesn't look like it would be very sturdy.
Is there a door?
There is no door that you can see. It's just look like they just lashed this together. And it looks like they possibly just tear pieces of it apart to rip people out of it.
Okay. I'm going to try to kind of run towards it and like try to take my pick at the at some of the not restraints, but the bound together structure.
Okay. Which one? Are you going for the one that Seamus is working on, or are you going for the one that has the form of the huddled woman?
I guess I'll go for the other one that since he's working on one.
Go ahead and make me a attack with your pick.
Okay. That's 13 out of 44.
13 out of 44. You easily splinter through the brittle bones and whatnot that have been kind of cooking through this fire anyways, made it more brittle. You smash through it, and the woman is just kind of laying there. She's not moving. She is breathing, though, that you can tell. But the flames are starting to get even more intense the longer you guys sit here.
I kind of look over at Seamus and I go, try to take care of this one. And I kind of go over to where he is and try to break that one.
Okay. Well, Seamus, do you do as he asks?
Yeah. Well, I'll switch off.
Okay. Seamus, go ahead and make me a strength check.
That is an 8.
Okay. You easily scoop her up by under her shoulders, and you start dragging her out of the cage. I'm assuming you're going to drag her in the direction of Christophe and the giant head.
Yes.
Got it. So you start dragging her off that way. Marius, go ahead and make me a melee attack.
All right. Do I get any momentum for my last attack?
Sure, I'll give you momentum plus 10.
Yeah. All right. So I'm talking about. Oh, I needed it too. 48 out of 54.
Okay. All right. So you once again splinter through the enclosure, and the boy kind of hunches down. It cleaves through, and he just kind of looks up at you, and he's just sitting there, kind of in shock. Doesn't know exactly what's happening.
Is he the only one in this
He's
cage?
the only one that you
people?
see in this cage.
Okay. That no one else comes running out or anything.
No one else comes running out.
And you said, is he tethered to someone else? Is he currently tethered to someone else?
He's just kind of like clutching some of the bars that you didn't smash. He's just kind of sitting there clutching them. Looks like his mind may or may not have been warped in the process of being captured.
All right. I look at him and say, "Come on, little master, follow me."
Okay.
And,
are you going to reach for him?
I'm not going to reach for him. I'm just kind of like going to motion for him to follow me.
Okay. He doesn't move. He's still tethered. He's holding the bars, just kind of hyperventilating. The smoke is is banking further down, and it's actually getting into his mouth now, and he's starting to cough.
I kneel down real quick and look him directly in the eye, and I say, "Come on, young master, follow me," and try to like focus his attention on me.
Okay, make me a charm roll.
Okay.
Ooh. Is he attracted to Marius?
No, he is not. The small child is not attracted to Marius.
I had to make sure. That is going to be 4 out of 37.
Okay, so this time the boy kind of, and he's wide-eyed. He hasn't said a word to you. He just kind of stands up and starts shuffling slowly out of the cage.
All right. How slowly?
Like at a shuffling pace, like barely even a walk.
Oh.
Eyes are dead.
All right. I'm going to tell him to. Well, actually, I'm just going to kind of grab him and put him on my back.
Okay. As soon as you grab him, he attempts to bite you.
Oh, God.
Okay. I would like to use my melee defense.
Go ahead.
Okay. That's 40 out of 44.
Okay. So he attempts to bite you, and you kind of lunge your hand away, and he looks almost feral now, and he kind of hisses at you, and he turns from you and starts running back into the cage that's burning at this point.
I grab him by the shoulder and just kind of continue to drag him.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know.
All right. I'm not going to make you make a strength check for this. He's thrashing the entire time, doesn't want you holding on to him, but he's a small boy. You can easily handle him.
Yeah.
You
I
get him over to where you're at, so what are you going to do?
I turn around and I think I'm going to try to intimidate him now. I'm going to look at him and be like, enough with this boy. You will follow me.
Very Kratos of you. Go ahead and make your intimidation check.
I look like Kratos right now, you know? So, all right. Settling. It's 20 out of 44.
Got it. Okay, so he kind of stops moving, and he just kind of goes into like placation mode. He's gonna probably do whatever you ask him to.
All right. I'm gonna put him on my back.
Okay.
I'm gonna run as fast as I can back to everyone else.
Okay.
Try to get the fuck out of here.
Okay. A lot of time has passed. I would say probably not a lot of time, but probably a minute or so has passed. You have Seamus. You have no idea where Angelica is. She's disappeared. So I'm going to need you to make me a perception test if you are leading.
Yeah. I am.
Okay.
That's a 28 out of 51.
Okay. So you kind of, as you're glancing about, you think that you see a path that you could probably take, that there is the least amount of damage that you can see around. You still hear the screaming and whatnot, and you start moving at a quick pace, as quick as you can. Marius is barely keeping up with you at this point. He's still probably about 10, 15 feet behind you. He's currently carrying a small boy and Tarkag's head, dragging it behind him. A feat of strength that is impressive. This is your life. This is your life. So he's dragging it behind him. You get another 200-300 feet through this encampment, and you're almost to the edge of this encampment. Keeping your eyes out, you notice up ahead that there is fighting. You hear the clash of weapons, and you hear the shouts of men. Fall back! Fall back! And you can hear braying and screaming and the sounds of beastmen. You get to the edge of the clearing, and you can see that there is 2 soldiers back to back fighting off 5 Ungor and Gors mixed together. There are beastmen encircling these men, and it looks like they are attempting to kill them. With your perception test, you see that there's a path to your left where if you took it, you could probably get around this fight because they are being distracted by these men right now.
I'm taking the path.
Okay. And as you go to take the path, Christophe glances up. Men! And he tries to push away from you again to try to go save his comrades in arms. Are you going to try to keep your hands on him, or are you going to let him go?
I will try to keep my hands on him.
Okay, make a strength check.
But if he goes, I'm not going to be sad. Oh, he's going. That's a 46 out of 30.
Okay. He pulls away from you, and almost in like a burst of adrenaline, almost without flinching, even on his bad leg, he does a full sprint and drives his shield into the back of one of the beastmen, pushing it into his fellow soldiers, who then stab it repeatedly. But they are encircled by more beastmen that are now spilling out of the encampment in all directions around you guys. You can hear screaming and whatnot, and you see, as soon as he did that, the beastman next to him, a little Ungor with like little shifty eyes, looks up and kind of and then drives a spear through his throat. And Christophe falls.
Oh, Christophe.
And blood spurts out of his wound. And Marius, you arrive just in time to see this spear driven through Christophe's neck. He's about 40 feet from you guys. And the Ungor pulls the spear away and goes back to harrying the two soldiers, which are now starting to get punctured left and right. It looks like they may not have much long to live unless you choose to intervene, Marius.
You said they're already being punctured?
They are starting to, yes, they are showing wear and tear. They're not looking like, unless somebody intervenes soon, they're not going to make it.
How many are there?
There are 5 beastmen.
And Seamus is already going down one path.
Seamus is moving to you can see where he is. You can see him from where you're at. He's moving off to the left, circumventing this fight, using these men as a distraction, and it looks like he just let Christophe just go and sacrifice himself so he could get away.
It's not what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like to Marius.
Oh, God. I'm trying to... Let me think for a second how Marius would actually do this.
Okay.
Marius still has a boy on his back, I guess.
Yeah, he does.
I guess my question is, would I think that if I intervened, that the warriors would have a chance to survive
There's
guardsmen?
only one way to find out.
Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, have they been stabbed enough where I think they could make it out, or is like mortal wounds where they're just kind of like
they're cuts. There are no mortal wounds yet.
Okay. There's 5 beastmen.
There are 5 currently. There are 5 beastmen.
All right. I guess I'll probably just... Marius will kind of grip the rope rather tight. Kind of wrenching it. Kind of looking his head down and... Sigma, forgive me. And I will look towards the boy, and
he's just got like this crazed look. He's shattered.
Yeah. And I will just kind of continue along the path following Seamus.
Okay. Speaking of Seamus, I forgot to mention that you are currently carrying a woman over your shoulder. Yeah, I forgot to say that earlier. But you are carrying a woman over your shoulder who is completely unconscious. Not dead, but unconscious. So you guys slowly circumvent this. With that giant head pulling behind you, Marius.
Yes.
I need you to make me a stealth check.
Oh.
Now they are distracted. They are distracted.
Okay.
So I'll give you a plus 20 to your roll.
Okay. That would be 40. My stealth would be 46, and my roll was 41.
Oh yes. Okay.
Jeez.
So you feel the head get stuck on a tent flap, but you gracefully just kind of nudge it a little bit and pull it free without it spilling out its contents onto the floor behind you as you just barely scrape by and get around the clearing, where then as you guys are slowly making your way out into the wilderness, you have no idea where you're at. All you know is that the camp is behind you, and you can hear the screams of the soldiers you just left behind as they are butchered and eaten alive. And you can hear them, ah! Ah, Sigmar! And it's just this horrifying, and it lasts for much longer than you think it should have. There's minutes at times as you guys are walking off into the distance as our heroes left 2 men to die. And we will leave this episode on that note and finish it out.
More dilemmas.
Oh, man. Jeez. You guys just let them all die.
Well, we didn't let them all die. We saved 2 people.
You did save 2 people. That's true.
Maybe.
It's true.
Man. Well, you killed Tarkag. So, I would say that's a success. I'd say that's a big success. But, man, let's go ahead and close this out. Did you guys have fun, at least?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had more fun than Jaeger did.
Yeah, I had more fun than Jaeger.
I'd say so. All that work I put into creating him, and he's dead. Regardless, I'll go ahead and close this out, guys. I have been Jumbo Thick. This has been Rise of the Forsaken, our Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition campaign. I would like to say thank you to my graceful players this evening. It was a hard episode. I'm not gonna lie, it was tough, but you guys did well. Had some moral dilemmas there towards the end. We'll see if there are any repercussions from people's actions. We'll find out. As usual, guys, I have been Jumbo Thick. Thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in a new episode. Have a good day.